Naam, karibu mtazamaji wangu wa GBS TV. Naitwa Ivan Kibe. Tangu tuachane Jumatatu iliyopita, narejea tena nikiwa mzima, nikiwa na wingi wa matumaini ya kwamba yu buheri wa afya. Muda wetu umekimbia tena zaidi, na kwa hivyo ningetaka nimweke mgeni wangu wa kwanza hewani, ambapo tutakuwa tunazungumzia kuhusu swala la mazingira, yani importance of responsible environment behavior. Na sijui mtazamaji wangu wa GBS TV, kuna watu ambao naishi karibu nao ambao wakati mwingine unaona ni kana kwamba hawana tabia njema kwa mazingira. Sijui kama hiyo ni Kiswahili sanifu. Hawana tabia njema kwa mazingira. Ndani ya studio niko naye mgeni ambaye si mwingine, nafahamika kama Margaret Wamboi, ambaye ni mtaalamu wa masuala ya mazingira, na ningetaka nimweke hewani weze kusikia sauti yake. Habari yako?
Salama.
Good morning, Margaret.
Good morning, I'm well. How are you?
I'm very fine.
Thank God.
Happy new, bado tunasema happy new month.
Happy new month. Kweli mwezi bado ni mchanga. Tunangoja kuona mapenzi ya Mwenyezi Mungu utakavyoenda.
Yes.
Yes.
Na nataka niseme huu mwezi wa 10 ni mwezi ambao tumeugoja sana, ama umeugoja sana. Tukijua kwamba uko na hamasisho kwa Wakenya dhidi ya kudhibiti usafi wetu wa mazingira. Karibu, maybe ningetaka kwanza utuambie mwezi huu umetuandalia nini?
Mwezi huu tuna michezo ambayo inaitwa Waki Games. Jina ambalo lililetwa na mtoto ama miaka 20 iliyopita.
Yes.
Watoto walikuwa na kuja pamoja, watoto kutoka shule tofauti na children's home hivi, wanacheza, wanashirikiana, na watu wanatoa pesa za kusaidia wale watoto, hasa wale watoto ambao walikuwa ni wa children's homes.
Yes.
Mwaka huu tumechukua hilo jina tena, tunataka kufanya Waki Games.
Yes.
Lakini sasa tunataka kuhusisha hata watu wazima ama watu wakubwa. Na mwaka huu mbali na kukusanya pesa za kusaidia watoto ambao wanahitaji pesa za shule, pia tunataka kujulisha watu ya kwamba tabia zao kwa mazingira wakati mwingine zinadhuru watoto. Zinadhuru watu wote, lakini hasa watoto ambao ni wanyonge.
Yes.
Waki Games zitakuwa City Park, Forest.
Yes.
Ambapo organization yetu Children's Environmental Rescue ni moja ya user groups za Community Forest Association, ama kikundi cha jamii inayoishi karibu na City Park. Na katika hiyo michezo tutacheza na pia tujulishe watu ama tuamshe sensitivity ya watu kuhusu vile wanavyofanya kwa mazingira na vile tabia zetu mbaya kwa mazingira zinadhuru kila mtu, lakini zaidi watoto.
Yes.
Tarehe 10 Mazingira Day. Tutaanza saa 3 hadi saa 7, lakini watu waweza kuendelea kufurahia ama kujivinjari katika City Park.
Wakati tunazungumzia kuhusu Mazingira Day, tungetaka kujua, wakati tunasema ni siku ya kuhamasisha umma umuhimu wa kuwa na mazingira safi, Wakenya wanachukulia swala hili vipi?
Nasikitika nikisema ya kwamba Wakenya hawachukulii maneno ya mazingira seriously kama vile wanavyopaswa. Na huwa sana sana, hata kama serikali pia haiweki seriousness kwa mazingira, Wakenya ndio wanaoharibu mazingira zaidi. Ni kama hawajui ya kwamba mazingira ni muhimu sana katika afya zao, furaha zao, kila kitu. Wakenya wanataka wajue ya kwamba mazingira ni kila kitu ambacho kiko karibu na wewe. Wewe pia ni mazingira. You are part of the environment. Na tabia zetu zinaharibu mazingira. Na mazingira yakiharibika yanatudhuru kwa njia nyingi sana, hasa kiafya.
Ningetaka tuweze kuangalia vigezo vyetu vya uongozi wakati tunazungumzia siku ya mazingira. Na sijui ni kwa nini hili wazo lilikujia wapi wakati tunazungumzia kuhusu hewa safi, mazingira safi. The only thing ambayo inakuja kwa mawazo ya viongozi wetu ni kupanda miti, na nilikuwa nimeuliza hapo awali na nitauliza tena. Kupanda miti is the only way ya kusafisha mazingira?
No, actually kupanda miti ni njia moja tu, na njia muhimu sana kwa sababu miti ina manufaa mengi sana kwetu. Lakini hiyo ni njia moja tu. Tuseme kupanda miti kwa mfano huwa inasaidia katika kuaddress climate change. Sikumbuki climate change inaitwaje kwa Kiswahili. Lakini climate change ni jambo ambalo limepewa umaarufu sana. Na ni vizuri tunaenda ma-conference Ulaya, tunaita ma-conference hapa, kila mwaka kuna ile inaitwa COP 20 what. Na ni muhimu sana na ni nzuri sana. Lakini mazingira ambayo ni muhimu zaidi ni mazingira ambayo tunaishi nayo kila siku. Tunapotupa takataka nje ya boma zetu, tunatupa ili takataka ituondokee kwa nyumba zetu. Lakini hiyo takataka ikienda tu hapo nje, inakuwa ndipo mahali ambapo mainzi yanakaa. Hiyo takataka inalea mambo mengi, hata harufu mbaya, na zote zinaturudia na zinadhuru afya zetu. Kwa hivyo kitu ambacho nitasema tukianza sasa mpaka tutakapomaliza ni kwamba mazingira ni muhimu, na mazingira ni hapo ulipo, na mazingira ni wewe unaweza kuyaweka yakiwa masafi, na mazingira mabaya yanaanza na mimi, sio serikali. Yanaanza na mimi. Mimi ndio ninaharibu mazingira. Na kupanda miti hata ikiwa ni vizuri sana, hiyo jambo halitaondoa uchafu katika mazingira yangu. Hilo jambo halitasafisha maji yangu. Ninapoelekeza maji ya choo kwa barabara, alafu kidogo unaona watoto wanaona maji mazuri, wanaanza kucheza na hayo maji, wanakuwa na magonjwa ya ngozi, magonjwa ya kifua, magonjwa ya wapi, ya tumbo. Serikali hata ikipanda miti bilioni ngapi haitasaidia. Lazima sisi wenyewe wa Kenya tujue kwamba irresponsible environmental behavior ama tabia mbaya kwa mazingira inatudhuru sana, na hasa inadhuru hata kuua watoto.
Hata kuua watoto. Ningetaka maybe ukiangalia katika serikali yetu ama our policies in terms of approach to environment, utakuta kwamba tuko na wizara ya mazingira, utakuta kwamba tuna serikali a whole ministry ya environment, tuko na another whole ministry ya climate change. Wakati mwingine watu wanafini kama ni kana kwamba zina crash. Ukienda katika bunge la kitaifa utakuta kuna kamati ya mazingira. Ukienda katika serikali za county utakuta pia kuna kamati specially ya mazingira. If you put all those stakeholders ambazo zina jukumu moja tu ya mazingira safi, as an environmental expert, are you satisfied with what you are getting or what we are receiving, or the measures that has been put in place by the government of Kenya?
I would say, like in a lot of other places or other concerns in this country, we have the most beautiful policies in place. For example, we have the Environment Management and Coordination Act of 1999, which is derived from the International Environmental Law. And it is perfect. It takes care of everything from pollution to water usage, to conservation or sustainable use of other resources like sand. All those things are taken care of, including noise pollution.
Yes.
And then, like you say, we have all those relevant authorities. We have NEMA, we have ministries, right down to the county. We have the relevant offices, and even personnel, we have them. And many of them with a lot of expertise. They are there. We have even environmental impact assessment experts who are trained by various institutions, universities, and they are licensed by NEMA, who demand that before you put up any construction, you must do the environmental impact assessment. using an expert, but implementation, that is where the problem is. And that is why the citizens themselves must be sensitized that in the case of the environment, it is not a serikali's idea. It is sisi wenyewe tujisaidie. We have working games on Thursday next week where we are inviting everybody just to come and listen to the role of responsible environmental behavior in our well-being. But do you know, we have written to all those ministries you're talking about. They do not even reply. And this is children calling them. Come, we want to hear from you. What is happening? What is happening around us? How can you help us? What do we need to know about the environment so that we can make it good for ourselves? Only the judges from the Environment and Land Court have responded. We have some weak responses from some of those other organizations you have mentioned, but not what you would expect, especially a call by children. Come, let us reason together about our environment. Just a few days ago, we had a chief from where I come. He came from trees because they have been told to plant trees. And they have been given like 3 days, plant trees. I don't think you heard about it. It is not being publicized. It is, and it is a good thing to plant trees, but why isn't it publicized? In May, I think May 10th, the whole nation was told to plant trees. And I remember one of our alumni, those who are children with us, but have now grown, and is working in a certain company, asking me, where are we going to plant trees and where are we going to get the trees? We have been told we must plant trees on May 10th. That was, I think, on May 8th or so. So we had only 3 days to plan, to rush and do something. So the implementation is failing. The environment is not taken with the seriousness it should be taken. And I want to remind us, all of us, that the environment is everything that surrounds you, including the people around you, including the noise around you. It is what you live in. It is what we eat. It is what we feel. We don't take care of it, we are not taking care of ourselves. Actually, I want to say here, and I haven't researched on it scientifically, but I want to say it here, that issues in the environment kill more people than road accidents and other disasters.
Thank you, Margaret. There's this, I don't know, I have never understood the relationship between the implementation and funding, because every time that you have something like what you're doing and you approach the government offices, they tell you that we don't have funds. So I always wonder, is it a must that you have billions of money maybe to implement something? What does it cost to make sure that the environment is clean?
You don't have to have billions. You have to have money, yes, but you don't have to have a lot of money. And indeed, we don't have money we don't have funding for the activity that we are doing on Wednesday. All we have paid for is a band to come and play so that it will attract attention. We have also to give the children who come to participate some food and transport them to the venue. But the 100 or so children who are participating and anybody else who will come around and listen will learn about the environment. If you are holding a cleanup, for example, all you need is the local government to come and take the waste. They have the equipment, the brooms, the spades, the trucks to take the waste. So what you need more than money is the will and the mobilization. So there is no excuse. It's not about money. Although you'll be surprised that there is money assigned to environmental activities, but a lot of times it is reallocated to other more important things.
What happened along the way? Niligrow nikijua kwamba I'm not supposed just to ditch the takataka anyhow. But now look today, now I'm now addressing maybe the children. tunawaonyesha nini wakati ukienda kila mahali, kila mtu anatupa taka. Wakati wenu sijui usafi wa mazingira mlikuwa mnaudhibiti kivipi, lakini mimi nikigrow angalau nilikuwa najua kuna place fulani ya kutupa taka. Saa hii the more tunazungumza kuhusu usafi wa mazingira, the more tuna expose, the more tunatupa takataka ovyo ovyo. Ni nini tutapanda kwa watoto wetu? Licha ya kwamba tunawaambia usafi unaanza na mimi mwenyewe kutoka kwa nyumba. But tukitoka nje ya mlango, ukitoka nje ya lango lake, anapata nini?
Katika the activity that we have on Thursday, tutaangazia hashtag ya watoto, sijui mnaita hashtag ama ni slogan, ambapo wanasema hatutaki. And they will be shouting hatutaki. Na kile ambacho hawataki ni mazingira duni, mazingira mabaya, mazingira machafu ambayo tumefikia kwa sababu ya tabia mbaya. Sisi wenyewe tuna tabia mbaya. When I was growing up, the other century, and I grew up in Nairobi, every Wednesday in my estate, which was one of the lower cadre estates, there was a lorry that would come and pick garbage. But the council, the city council had provided steel bins, mapipa, makubwa, ambapo tulikuwa tunaweka takataka yetu. Kila jioni, and I don't know if you have ever heard of this one, those of you who are young, there was also a truck that used to come and empty buckets from the latrines. Kila jioni. The place was kept clean. There was also somebody who would come and sweep the waste that would be scattered on the roads. And it wasn't much because akikuona ukitupa hiyo takataka si atakuchapa. So we grew up knowing that there are bins in various places where you put waste. Today, the government does not provide enough of those. And I guess here we are talking about the county governments. You hardly find bins in Nairobi because I will not drop my waste anywhere. Even in the CBD, you walk all over the place looking for where to put your waste. They are there, but they are very few. Is the waste collected the way it used to be collected at that time? I don't think so. In the CBD, you will find in the alleys between buildings, some of them have a lot of garbage in our CBD, which visitors from all over the world come and see. So there is one irresponsible behavior, and that is what we are trying to promote, responsible environmental behavior, because it is very important, not just among the children, and it is good when you tell the children because they learn faster than us, but also in Kenyans. We want to tell Kenyans that much as the government is failing us in one way, and I will say it here, they are failing us in environmental conservation or in taking care of the environment. We too are failing. We're the ones who throw the waste in the wrong places.
No, ukiangalia hivi sasa ni kama tunaingia msimu wa mvua, na uangalia mazingira yetu, and most of time when we have a downfall, you find that kuna chipuka magonjwa ambayo yanatokana na uchafu kama kipindu na magonjwa mengine ambayo yanahusiana na uchafu wa mazingira. Now, if it's happen, kunyesha kama wiki mbili mfululizo, what do you expect?
The usual flooding, garbage on our roads, and it's terrible because the impacts are longer lasting than the rainy season, because all that waste, all the pollution that is in the soil also is taken to the rivers, and then it spreads. If you have pollution in one place because of the flowing water, it is now spread to other places, and that is why I'm saying that a lot of our illnesses, a lot of our sicknesses come from environmental pollution, be it in the water, in the air, in the soil, and even the noise pollution. And we should take care of it. Now that we are expecting rain, we should be having short rains, I guess from the beginning of next week. the people in authority or people who are responsible should be clearing the drainages and making sure that the water will go where it should, not cause floods, which has been now common. It's like during every season we have flooding and the resulting problems, including, sadly, death.
Somebody ambaye tutazama nimekuona vizuri sana, my good friend anasema anaitwa Philomena, anauliza nikuulize your partner about your partnership with the county government, because it's the responsibility of the county government to make sure that environment is clean, but here you are doing what they are supposed to do, so anauliza their contribution.
There is a lot of effort in that direction, not just the county government,
yes,
but also other relevant authorities in the government. But as I told you, their response is normally not at par, not as you would expect. In the past, we have done cleanups, especially in our county where I come from, and the municipal government would participate, but they have not initiated activities where we can partner with them. We initiate, they come with their trucks, take the garbage. We initiate, they come and join us in planting trees, but we hardly hear of them doing things that we can, where they invite us.
Now, on an event, maybe you can tell us what are you intended to do, what will be the message, and mostly, apart from playing those games, what other exercises that will take place?
Okay, maybe I can explain. The Wacky Games, they are called Wacky Games for the environment. We shall not just be playing, and we shall be playing. One of the things we hope to have is a lot of fun, children and adults. We shall play unusual games, and graciously, Prison Staff Training College, our friends in Ruiru, will be spearheading the physical challenges for adults. We will not tell you what they are, but there will be some interesting physical challenges. You will not be running and doing high jumps and such. You will be doing unusual games. Then we, as Children's Environmental Rescue, some teachers will be spearheading or guiding games for children. Again, fun games. Then there will be an excursion into the forest. We call it forest experience. Forest experience is where the foresters in the forest, City Park Forest, take us, and this is not our first time, they take us into the forest to experience the forest personally. There are those who want to experience walking on in the forest because it's different. It's different from walking on a tarmac road or a rough road. It's beautiful, you feel it. There are those who want to touch trees, see the different textures of trees. There are those who smell the forest, and it smells different, I can assure you. There are those who go there to hear the forest, and the sounds in the forest are different from the sounds you hear of vehicles and people shouting and music. So forest experience is something else that will happen. The other thing that will happen is that there will be a place where people can display what it is that they do. There are schools which will showcase what they do. There are other organizations which will showcase what they do, and especially with regards to the environment. Is there anything you do that is good for the environment? And then finally, we shall come together and there will be a debate, a public participation of sorts, where children will exchange ideas, ask questions, even give their opinions about their environment. Tell us what they don't like in the environment, what they would wish for in the environment. So it will be a day of interaction, all for the environment. And then we have a band. To be precise, the Prison Staff Training College band will be there with us to entertain us. And should anybody have anything to tell us in form of a poem, the children, they will showcase that. I know one school has some very interesting items of recycled materials, water bottles that they have turned into pencil pouches, and other creations like that. People will be able to showcase that. This being our first Wacky Games, where we engage the public, we are actually going to let it grow organically to show us what next year's Wacky Games will be like. One of the things we will not do this year, but we hope we shall do next year, God allowing us, is to recognize and award responsible environmental behavior by corporates, by institutions, and by individuals, including children.
As we come to the end of our program today, as I was checking the mitigations that are being laid down by the government, by the Kenya Kwanza government, is that by the end of 2032, the government is planning to plant 15 billion trees. So I don't know whether you have seen maybe a culminated exercise where we can say that if we walk at this pace or with this pace, then we will achieve that 15 billion trees. Have you?
No, we haven't, but we trust that anything is possible. Of course, we have a lot of questions like where are we going to plant all those trees, and where are those seedlings going to come from? If we really want to do that, we can, for example, start germinating the seedlings, engage everybody, put some money into it so that people are motivated to get those seedlings. As it is, we ourselves, our contribution is we want people to plant trees in their primary schools. We are calling them alumni forests. We're inviting everybody to join us, to call us, and we will assist them or collaborate with them to plant trees in their primary schools, alumni forests. They will help in this seemingly very difficult or very large project, and it will succeed.
You agree with me that you can't separate environmental with food security. And for the past 5 years tumekuwa tukiona mahali ya kwamba tulikuwa tunajua hapa tunapanda kahawa, hapa tunapanda majani, hapa tunapanda chakula, matunda. Precisely, if you can focus on Kiambu County, you realize that the system or the government of the day, either national government or the county government, the department of planning, either national planning or county planning, wameruhusu maybe kutoa chakula kama ni matunda, na instead wanapanda nyumba flats. So they are substituting what they used to grow with the nyumba za kukondesha. Is this a concern?
It's a great concern. It's a great concern. The building industry has been allowed to go amok. It's anarchy. It's so long as you have money, you can build. It looks like you can build anywhere, sometimes with very dire consequences. We have built in riversides with serious consequences where buildings have collapsed. We have built in areas that have red soil, deep red soil that should be alienated for agriculture, and left dry places that could be used for that. In the UK, they build a lot of houses in certain areas together, and then they alienate some land. They set aside some land for agriculture. Proper planning is what is missing. And it is great concern. I can't imagine what will be happening in Kiambu in the next 20 years. They probably will be begging for food. Because I say begging because even if you have money, if you come to buy food from me and I have enough for just myself, I will not take your money, I will keep my food. So unless this is taken care of, there will be a serious problem. I don't know where people will be getting their food from. Even those ones with a lot of money from building a lot of apartment buildings. As we talk about apartment buildings, this is another area that has a lot of problems. We have had issues of buildings collapsing. We have had issues of children falling from balconies and so on. We have issues of apartment buildings being so close together that you just wonder what air goes through. Of course, they don't get natural light. The air. And a lot of those buildings are housing young families where children are growing. We are really concerned. What happened to the laws? What happened to the standards? They have been thrown out of the window. And we are facing a big problem in the future. This industry needs to be looked into.
Finally, let's talk about the, earlier on we used to say that Kenya is agriculture was only the backbone of this country, but now industries are coming. So we are seeing that now industrialization is now becoming an issue. And now if you look place like Kadheka, ilikuwa inajulikana tu ni ndio tu place ambao kuna makampuni, kuna viwanda. But now angalia kaunti zingine kama Machakos County, angalia Kajiado County, angalia Nairobi County, angalia Nakuru County. Let me see as the word suggests, the metropolitan. You find that the counties that do surround the neighboring Nairobi counties, now they are becoming an industrial area. So let's look about the issues of gas emissions from those companies or those industries.
And it is good to industrialize. It is the way to go. The only problem is that lack of not planning.
My issue is, do we regulate the gas emissions from the industries?
Do
we have the policy?
We have the policies in place. What we have is also in place a lot of corruption. So that you find in some places that we should set aside places for residences, places for industrialization, so that you keep the two away. I know a place where I come from where they have now a new factory where they are making batteries. Just like the one we had in Mombasa, where we had a ruling made to compensate the residents because their children had, some of them even died from the emissions from the industries. But again, that was later quashed. Please don't allow us to end this without saying this.
Yes, please.
The children are suffering a lot from the environments. Transport system, the roads. Do not think about children. We have beautiful roads. Actually, we have built a lot of good roads in this country. But many of them do not even take into consideration the needs of the pedestrians, and especially the children. The bridges missing. You have seen children crossing rivers on rafts. The public service vehicles have no consideration for children. The first step is usually reaching the children at the neck. They can hardly get on. And then the school environments. The school environments are very sad state. The grounds alone, forget the dorms, the grounds, a lot of times they are so rough, you wonder how little children move. Their legs break and all you are told is, mtoto amevunjika mguu, kuja umchukue, you go and deal with the problem. So I'm saying here, before we end, that we need to behave responsibly with the environment. It is killing us, it is killing our children. Responsible environmental behavior is something that every one of us should embrace.
Maybe we could wish now to get your final, your parting shot, and mostly that message that you have for the government, the message you have to the ministry, the message you have to the watoto, your parting shot.
My parting shot is, watoto wanasema hatutaki. Hatutaki nini? Hatutaki mazingira duni. Hawataki mazingira ambayo yanawadhuru, magonjwa, hadi hata kuwaua katika shule, katika vijiji ambapo wanaishi. So we expect and demand responsible environmental behavior from everybody, be it individuals who go urinating along the roads, the men especially, please, what are you showing the children? The ladies who dress in ways that leave the children asking questions, the parents who quarrel in front of children and make the environment unpleasant and difficult. And by the way, what I'm saying is from the children. I'm just airing what the children have told us in our conferences. The ministries that are responsible for giving children a good environment, they have money, they have the policies in place, they have the laws, but they are not implementing. The authorities who are allowing buildings that are dangerous, where children are dying because there are no considerations for them. The ministries, the government departments that are building beautiful roads without thinking about children, they have nowhere to walk, nowhere to cross. the public service vehicles, which have scaring pictures on their sides. The children have told us they get scared looking at some of these buses, and inside there is pornography showing. This is a message from the children, not from me. This is what they are saying, hatutaki. They do not want this. And they deserve a good environment to grow in. It is their right. Constitutional right, Article 42. The right to a clean and healthy environment. And a United Nations universal human right. It is their right. Let every one of us give them their right.
Thank you. Now you can invite us to your event on, is it on Wednesday, Thursday?
Thursday. So karibuni, City Park Forest. The Community Forest Association has a, what we call children's user group. It is made up of different user groups. And this activity or event is in conjunction with that association. Just come. This year we are introducing wacky games. There are no charges. Just walk in, join us in the procession, and enjoy yourself and get to hear or even to contribute about that clean and healthy environment that we want to have. One last thing. We are building something called garbage monster, a structure to call attention to what waste in this country is becoming, unsustainable, mismanaged waste. The garbage monster. Please bring us waste that does not rot to put in our garbage monster. Come and see it and add to it to tell Kenyans that waste is becoming a monster in our country.
Hata kama tumemaliza maneno yako na nikumbusha the plastic ban. The use of plastic, but today can you confirm that we banned because they are still there?
We banned, but in an interesting way, because we banned one-use plastics, which are used by mama mbogas to sell us things in the market. But we allowed the bakeries to continue putting their bread in plastics. The rice millers to continue putting rice in plastics. It was a joke. It needs to be done seriously.
Imekuwa hali na shwari. Naitwa Margaret Wamboi, na wakati mwingine aliniambia miaka yake inamruhusu kusema mambo yalivyo. So kwa hivyo nachukua break fupi na rejea na mengi zaidi. Naitwa Ivan Kibe.